rodeo.
Hey, what's up, gang?
Let me go secure for the game right quick.
Hey, what's up, gang?
I got it.
I think it's my fault.
For real.
What's up,
Get the
gang?
rest.
Hey, I got that chicken to go.
I'm gone.
A lot of these look lost.
They
broke. They think it's my fault. No car. I want that car. I'm dripping. I'm stuck with the sauce.
Good drip. Good drip.
But she love you. Don't cut your.
Yeah,
Reynolds Da Vinci is white.
That's light.
Limited Louis, that's light.
Too light.
Rape in the city, that's light.
That's light.
LED, look at the light.
Too light.
We the ones don't like.
Don't like.
But you look too light.
Too light.
Why even play with your life?
Your life.
Bank account looking like yikes.
Looking like
I went from filling out kites to putting it in my block. Blue Gucci sweater is drill.
Drill.
Somebody give me a.
Drill.
These ain't like the cops.
Like bugs.
Gossiping more than a. In jail I had. I make you cut off the. Think that I made it, they can't be my friends, so they wanna be ops. If I see them hating and I'm in that spaceship, I'm dropping the top. Ain't like my beat, ain't no happy belated, I'm counting the guap. Who gave you a voice? Who told you your thoughts count? GPS straight to the money. I put my big homie got the big Mickey Mouse. You posted your at 12 and 8 that night, she had my all over the mansion. Can't sit on my house. I got that chicken to go. A lot of these look lost. They broke, they think it's my fault. No car. I want that car. I'm dripping, I'm stuck with the sauce.
Good drip.
But she love you, don't cut your.
Yeah,
Reynolds Da Vinci is white.
That's light.
Limited Louis, that's light.
Too light.
Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the light. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes.
With me, boy. Your hands in your fingers. Your ears with get back, watch you turn to a singer. Get to fighting like this Jerry Springer. All of my zip the back that like a pogo. Don't do these, they popo. Had a G-Wagon truck turned to Rojo. Find a K for 2 wheels and they going wild down in Soho. One was black and the other was Mexican. Had a like a pollo. Younger than you with a Maybach. Younger than you with a Bentley. From the got in the gently. Angry and fresh with these. When I was down out of so had sympathy. But that's how I go when you broke. Now I'm like mistletoe. This do my own. Not gonna lost on these new clones. Then she asked for a loan. Had to laugh, then I told her get gone. Gon' get that me on. Ain't no give me not a thing. So I spend 90K on my range. You can see all my pen in my watch. Got my ex down and walking around with my hand on my. Cause I'm popping and I know you not. And I know you see just how I'm living. You're not happy with life, so you rockin' Reeboks on treetops, getting walk. Got a big Benz like Sasquatch. Every time you see it, with a no, it's time
I got
match.
that chicken to go. A lot of these look lost. They broke, they think it's my fault. No car. I want that car. I'm dripping, I'm stuck with the sauce.
Good drip.
But she love you, don't cut your.
Yeah,
Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the light. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes. The ops on IG all the time. I dare them go live. Wagyu steak, I dine. 8 ounce, 255. I can't get funky with to groovy you me. If I ain't had love for me, I would've tried to get Nicki Minaj. J-Rock ain't gonna let you slide. Dory ain't gonna let you slide. You king of the city, I don't wanna be a big fish in a small pond. Trying to get across that water. I need fans in Vietnam. If you gotta hustle, but you can't stick to the grind, you wasting your time. I need a double a verse. I do it before FaceTime before I get to the club. Look at the line. Money ain't changed my heart, but I'm smarter. I guess it changed my mind. And I take care of my in prison. Don't think it's safe inside. I got that chicken to go. A lot of these look lost. They broke, they think it's my fault. No car, for real. I want that car. Don't cut your. Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A quick check on the numbers for Keenan Allen from last week. 8 catches, 5 yards past 100, and a touchdown.
And most teams mark down big plays as ones that gain 10 yards or more. He certainly has big playability, and we just saw it on display.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And the Titans hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And that is not a sight they want to see. Joe Mixon very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On 2nd down now. Carter, and he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Back to throw, Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
Now it's Watson, a bootleg. On the crossing route, complete. That's Fuller. 23 yards on the play. So here, the men in charge are going to be looking at whether or not the receiver had.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Now it's Watson. Forced out to his left. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
Well, there was pressure all around him, so the only play was to try and get out of there. I think it was an excellent effort by him just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. They'll try the air now with Watson. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Out of the gun, Watson. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. Daquan Jones in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Here we go on 4th. Watson. And that is caught. But the back judge right there to say incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt. And as a result, it'll be Titan football on the turnover on downs. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. A big run there by Freeman, 54 yards. And Freeman, not sure if he was a surprise exactly, but he sure took the NFL by storm.
But when you talk with his team, they'll tell you they saw this coming. They knew he had the talent. They were just ready to turn him loose on a full-time basis, and he took full advantage of it.
And now one of the most electrifying runners in the game today. They run, Devontae Freeman. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. From the gun, Mariota. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or...
Better against man.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
And now out comes Houston. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach, because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit in the same spot again.
Well, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks. On first down, it's Watson. Going deep for Walker. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Akeem Talib. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Following the interception here, Mariota. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play. He got it stripped, but you can see the panic in his face from up here through the helmet. He was able to dive back on it.
A good bit of fortune for him, because oftentimes on a strip sack, when that ball is wrenched out of your grasp,
blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Mariota. He goes underneath to Freeman. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play, because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Throw left side, complete to QT. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he'll find QT on the right side, complete. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. A gain of 6 there on first. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. From the gun, here's Watson. Trying to lay one up deep. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Off the bootleg, Watson. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Watson now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, Carter. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Daquan Jones in on the tackle there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 3rd down, that's Carter. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. On 4th down, Watson. And that is going to be incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And as a result, it'll be Titan football on the turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2. If they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And this one caught by Max Williams. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. A big play that time for the Titans. 41 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
First down, Mariota. On the left side, Gallup's got it. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll throw again. Mariota. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Freeman. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big pickup, and guess what?
Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Titans are going to add on to their lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was the super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch.
And that's caught inside the 35. A big-time play there for the Texans. 46 yards. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Watson. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Jurrell Casey in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
To throw is Watson. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field, and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Marcus Mariota and the offense heading back out for their next possession. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert, 2nd-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. After the penalty, here's Freeman. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Give him 14 on the play, and all of a sudden here it's third down.
In today's NFL, when you get teams in long yardage situations with your defense, you're really going to go to your speed packages. You're going to get smaller, lighter guys on the field in order to cover the expected pass. So they might want to run the ball against a smaller, lighter lineup with your big guys, and that's exactly what happened on that play. It was tough on them, and now instead of being in third and very long, they ended up setting themselves up in third and manageable. They've got a chance at a first down. This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Mariota now to throw on first down. And Walker with it over the middle. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Throw taken in by Taylor left side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. A first down throw for Mariota. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now a second down throw for Mariota. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And the Texans scoop it. 20, 10, and this results in 6. Touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy. Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And in just about every game we see, partner, what do we do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to the turnover differential. Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs. Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick 6 going the other way. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there for the 20th time this year as he continues what could be a record-setting season.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
He finds Taylor, complete. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Third and long here for Mariota. In trouble, and he's taken down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 18. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. He looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. This will be caught inside the 10. And they are able to stop it, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A very solid gain of 27. So 3 plays, already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. Here's Watson. No gain on the play there. It'll be second down.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal. Now Watson. Got a man open. It's Fuller for the Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans will extend their lead. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. But he will not be able to bring this one back, and the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
I remember when they changed the rule, and there was a lot of consternation, especially coming from the kicker. Okay, how's this going to affect things, having to kick a longer one now, much more of a field goal attempt, and the defensive guys saw it as an opportunity to get more block.
That's exactly right. There's more effort now. Before, when it was snapped down near the goal line, you would basically see guys just stand there.
Yeah, not anymore. Now, those guys are going after it because not only can they knock it away and change a little bit of momentum,
and get 2 points.
They can pick it up and take it back for 2 points.
They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. A beautiful spin and room to run. Oh, and now some space to operate. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
To throw, it's Mariota. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Walker. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Well, they were unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Play fake. Mariota. Going deep here for Allen. And it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. The intended receiver there, Allen. And the young buck, the rookie, just racked up his first career interception.
And how about the scouting department? They've got to be very happy right now because in NFL parlance, he's a third-day selection. Anyone after the 4th round, that's big-time scouting right there. And what a great play he just made.
Now it's Watson. Airing it out deep for Smith. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They go play action here on first down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. But one thing's for sure, they're still taking their shots downfield, even with a big lead.
I think it's way too early to go into a shell, so I like what they're doing. Continue to take your shots. Continue to be aggressive. It's not their job to slow themselves down.
That good for 19 and a first down.
I know anytime you watch a team run the ball really well, there's some pinball effect, people bouncing off of each other. There's also some things of beauty in there when you see these nice, explosive, strong runs. And this guy, he knows how to carry the football really well and continually wants the football. Why? He knows the offensive line's going to give him great effort, and he gives great effort himself to finish off runs. On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip them.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Texans add on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. No gain on the play there, second down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Second down, Mariota. Man open left side, it's Williams. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A big play that time for the Titans. And even 40 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zach Cunningham coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On third down, Mariota. And he's going to go down again. Trey Hendrickson in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over above 50 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
And he's got some space here. 30, 10, touchdown, Houston. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Texans continue to pour it on. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Out come the Titans now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. The 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Devontae Freeman with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Titans are able to get a score back. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He has had a whale of a game. In the third quarter, you're already over 200 yards. I don't know what more he can do at this point.
Not a whole lot, and what he has found is that zone that we always talk about, where every carry feels great. Every carry potentially is a sprint to the end zone. and all he wants to do is ride it as long as this game goes on.
Yeah, now he's just thinking 300 yards maybe.
Another good run there, and now we're seeing an offense that's imposed its will on a defense. When we talk about that all the time, what does it really mean? It means that the guys on the offensive line look like they can do whatever they want. They're in the huddle saying, run it again. Give us another chance to smack someone and create some space. On the defensive side of the ball, not only have they imposed their will against you, you're almost powerless to figure out what you're doing there, but you got to keep your spirit up at the same time, and they're taking that too.
Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson, and that is incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Black 22! Black 22!
Throwing again on 2nd and 10, Watson. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now it's Watson, a bootleg. And now another one thrown incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Here we go on 4th. Watson. The open man is Smith. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Texans add on. Fairbairn now to add the extra point.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but in today's NFL, I wouldn't want to play defense. Too many great receivers and guys who are accurate, who can get them the ball. We've seen the result, days like this one.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. He's closing in on 200 yards on the ground with the 4th quarter still to come. We're in the 3rd. Good shot to get there.
And now he's got to make sure he convinces his coaching staff to leave him out there and keep touching the ball, because when you've had that kind of a day, there is a tendency to think about getting him out and saving some of it. Running backs never like to save yardage.
You know he's tapping his quarterback on the shoulder. I'll take the ball again, please, right?
Not turning down any carries.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Mariota now on 2nd down. And it's a big turnover there on the final play of the quarter. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal.
Richmond.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Christian Covington in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Mariota from the gun on 3rd down. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You're saying afternoon to forget, absolutely. On 1st down, Carter. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, what you're saying is...
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know there are plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Now the Titans getting set to go. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary...
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there for sack number 22 on the year. Just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half set in 2001. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And the pressure gets to him again.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And we'll see what he can do on the return. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And out will come the offense as they take over. And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller. He's north of 150 yards in this game. He's been doing his thing, hasn't he?
That he has, and he's been enjoying himself. And it's the type of game that you get locked into a pretty good groove. May not be record-shattering, but it's the type of game that if you accumulate that throughout a season, you can be one of the top receivers in the game.
See how much they incorporate him here on this drive.
where Brandon Pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On third down, it's Carter, and he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now a first down throw, Watson. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Texans continue to pour it on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he works free. Through an opening, and there he goes. The 20. And he's going to score. It's a Titans touchdown. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Titans are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Well, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They give him a gain of 38. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. He's going to get it running right. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal? Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now fourth and goal.
Tiger! Come back!
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Logan Ryan. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And they're going to get the first out here as he's up to the 14. A Titan first down. Mariota to Walker. Time for a break. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. First down, Mariota. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney in there for the 7th time in this one game alone. And that will tie him with a late Derek Thomas for the most sacks in a single NFL game.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a third down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. It's a big play there for Tennessee. 56 yards. From the red zone now, Mariota. And he fends him off. That's going to be a loss of 18. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and about a mile here. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Working out of the gun, Mariota. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Trey Hendrickson. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Freeman, he's been busy today. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
And Watson's going to throw it here. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Jarrell Casey. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. He's letting this one go for Fuller. This is caught inside the 15. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking.